In 1970s Britain, being clever wasn't always a compliment. Sometimes it was a signal. You didn't read it in a rule book, you felt it in the room. The look when you answered too fast. The laugh that came half a second too late. The shift in the air when you stood out. No one warned you. You just noticed. So you adjusted. You spoke less. You dimmed it slightly. Not because you doubted yourself, because you understood something else. And some of us are still dimming it now. It hit your body before your mind caught up. The moment your hand shot up again. The moment the answer came easily. Too easily. A pause, not silence. Pressure. A smirk from behind you. A whisper that didn't try very hard to hide. Here he goes. Laughter that wasn't loud, just enough. The teacher moved on. Didn't defend you. Didn't need to. The message had already landed. Too eager. Too visible. Too sure. Your hand started hovering instead of rising. You edited your sentences mid-air, added hesitation where there wasn't any. Being right was harmless on paper. In the room, it cost you, and you felt the cost immediately. It wasn't intelligence that bothered people. It was position. The moment you sounded different, clearer, sharper, more certain, something shifted. You weren't just answering, you were separating yourself. Teacher's pet. It didn't need volume, a single grin, a shoulder nudge, a look that said, "You think you're better." And that was the line you weren't allowed to cross. Not better, not above, not ahead. You learned how fast admiration turned into distance, how quickly curiosity became arrogance in someone else's story. So you slowed yourself down. Let others speak first. Let answers sit. Let mistakes happen. Because being clever wasn't dangerous. Looking superior was. And the difference was razor thin. At home, the rule sounded kinder, but it meant the same thing. Don't get ideas above your station. It wasn't said with anger. It was said with experience. Your parents had tested the ceiling. They knew where it was. They knew what happened when you pushed too hard against it. They didn't say, "Don't shine." They said, "Be realistic." So you kept your wins small. You downplayed praise. If you did well, you shrugged. If you were proud, you hid it. Ambition was fine, quietly. But visible ambition, that felt risky. Better to stay steady. Better to stay liked. Better to stay reachable. No one told you to shrink. They just taught you where the edges were. The culture didn't shout its expectations. It didn't have to. Schools had hierarchy. Homes had order. Streets had invisible rankings you sensed without explanation. You knew who led, who followed, who got corrected, who got ignored. Respect wasn't debated, it was absorbed. And the message was consistent everywhere. Don't disrupt the balance. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't cruel. It was normal. The system didn't humiliate you. It calibrated you. And if you grew too tall too quickly, it trimmed the excess. Not to hurt you, just to keep you level. And it gave you skills. You learned to read a room before speaking, to sense tension before it formed, to predict reactions before they happened. You became precise, controlled, observant. You knew how to win quietly, how to survive socially, how to avoid becoming a target. That kind of intelligence doesn't show up in exam results, but it builds resilience. You weren't reckless, you were strategic, you became careful, and careful people rarely get attacked. But careful becomes small if you're not watching. When someone asks for opinions, you still measure the room. When praise lands, you redirect it. When opportunity appears, you hesitate. Is this safe? Is this too much? Will this shift the balance? You lower your voice without noticing. You soften your certainty. You cushion your confidence so it doesn't bruise anyone. After enough repetition, it stops feeling like adaptation. It feels like personality, but it wasn't personality. It was training. You see it now in boardrooms, in friendships, in interviews. You qualify your achievements. You add humor to your strengths. You step back when someone louder steps forward. Not because you're unsure, because somewhere inside, the rule still runs. Don't dominate. Don't stand too far ahead. Don't make the room uncomfortable. You scan faces automatically. You adjust mid-sentence. Even when no one is pushing back. Even when the room is safer now. Your body still remembers the old risk. They didn't call it suppression. They called it manners, humility, knowing your place. And for that era, maybe it worked. Stability mattered. Order mattered. Not rocking the boat mattered. But you were never wrong for being clever. You were early. Early in rooms that valued steadiness over spark. Maybe shrinking protected you once, but you're not in that classroom anymore. And the room you're in now might be waiting for you to stop dimming. Now, something strange happens. You meet younger people who don't shrink. They speak first. They challenge openly. They say what they know without softening it. And part of you admires it. Part of you flinches. Because you were trained to measure the room. They were trained to occupy it. You call them confident. But sometimes what you're feeling isn't judgment. It's distance. They don't carry the same rule. And suddenly you realize the room has changed. But your instinct hasn't. The rule kept you safe once. It helped you survive classrooms, offices, dinner tables. It taught you control. But survival rules don't always serve you forever. You're not 12 anymore. You're not waiting for permission. And maybe being clever was never the problem. Maybe the room just wasn't ready. Now you walk into different rooms. And this time, you can decide how much of yourself you dim, or whether you dim at all.